How important is it for you to feel worthy and good enough? How important is it for you to feel respected and honored by people you care for? And if it is really important, this podcast is for you. It's true that most people do care to feel good enough and worthy. And it's also true that most people feel worthy and good enough only when others validate and recognize them, their abilities, their achievements, and their positive qualities. Essentially, to feel worthy, okay, respected, full of dignity, we rely on others' opinion about ourselves. That itself is a big self-sabotage, because now people can play with your self-honor. The moment you allow others to make you feel good enough or not good enough, you've already put yourself in a very precarious position, and people can play with your self-worth. If you really feel okay about yourself and worthy, never allow anyone to dictate how good you are. Never allow others to judge you. Never allow others to make you feel good enough and not good enough by their opinion and their criticism. Learn to develop that kind of immunity, and yet being sensitive enough to take the feedback for constant improvement, and yet not feeling low or unworthy if people criticize or judge you adversely. That's the trick to continue feeling worthy and good enough. People who hold their head high are not necessarily always appreciated by everyone. They hold their head high because they feel good about themselves and they do not wait for validation from everyone. Doesn't matter what you do, it's not necessary and possible always to have appreciation and recognition from everyone. Some people may not like it, some people may not appreciate it, some people may not validate it. And yet, if you have an inner conviction, go ahead and be who you are and do all that you feel thoroughly convinced about. If you only feel honorable and respectable when others honor and respect you, you probably are self-sabotaging your self-honor and self-respect. Yes, let me explain to you. Feeling honorable because others honor can be a self-sabotage, because others will only honor you if they see you honoring yourself. Several times we compromise on our self-respect to give respect to people. Several times we compromise on self-honor to give honor to people. Your gestures are noticed. People do not treat you the way you treat them. People treat you the way you treat yourself. And that's a rule you need to keep in mind. If you want to feel honorable and respectable, start honoring yourself. Feel worthy. Feel good enough. Restore your dignity. Recognize yourself. Recognize who you are, without waiting for others to do that to you. Eventually, people will recognize you. Do not take yourself for granted while honoring others' wishes. Know that you're worthy. You're worthy of good things in life, worthy of a comfortable life, worthy of getting your fair share, worthy of being exactly the way you would like to be. And you do not need validation. You do not need endorsement. You do not need appreciation from others to feel worthy and good enough. Appreciate all that you are. Gift yourself all that you want others to gift you. And when you do that, you may or may not need people to make you feel good, because you'll start feeling good enough, worthy, better about yourself, and in fact, feeling great about yourself. That's the secret of leading an exemplary, fulfilling, and amazing life. Yes, some of the incidents of the past, shame, failure, mishaps, humiliations, make you feel small and low. Resolve them. Rise beyond them. If those experiences have helped you grow and become a better version of you, you need to now dissociate and learn to keep progressing with self-honor and self-appreciation. And it's totally possible. Drop your fear of being arrogant and rude. It is totally possible to feel worthy about yourself in a humble and polite manner. In fact, people who truly feel worthy do not have to portray arrogance or rudeness. A lot of time, overt arrogance, rudeness, and unhealthy way of communication is a mask to hide their shortcomings and low feeling about themselves. When you feel full, when you feel complete, when you feel fantastic about yourself, you do not really hurt anyone. Recognize that brilliance within and know that you're amazing. All that you're looking for in the world outside is right there inside you. You've got to awaken that. You've got to synchronize with that. And you've got to be your awesome self. This is the secret of awesome life with awesome vibes. Let's recite few radical statements to enjoy the awesome life with awesome vibes. Radiate those vibes which automatically attract the glances of respect and awe from people all around you. Recite with me and after me. These statements have certain powerful keywords and they will make positive shift in your life. To learn more about these keywords and statement designs to suit your individual need, you've got to do Radical Curriculum, especially the Spiritual Solution Curriculum. Let's start reciting. With Radical Consciousness, I purify my image consciousness. With Radical Consciousness, I purify my image consciousness. With Radical Consciousness, I purify my image consciousness. With radical consciousness, I purify my sensitivity to rude, rough, and arrogant behavior. With radical consciousness, I purify my sensitivity to rude, rough, and arrogant behavior. With radical consciousness, I purify my sensitivity to rude, rough, and arrogant behavior. With radical consciousness, I purify my fear of being arrogant. With radical consciousness, I purify my fear of being arrogant. With radical consciousness, I purify my fear of being arrogant. With radical consciousness, I purify my dependency on others for respect and honor. With radical consciousness, I purify my dependency on others for respect and honor. With radical consciousness, I purify my dependency on others for respect and honor. With radical consciousness, I purify my need to feel worthy and good enough. With radical consciousness, I purify my need to feel worthy and good enough. With radical consciousness, I purify my need to feel worthy and good enough. With radical consciousness, I awaken my self-recognition. 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 With radical consciousness, I synchronize with self-recognition. With radical consciousness, I awaken my self-worth. With radical consciousness, I awaken my self-worth. With radical consciousness, I awaken my self-worth. With radical consciousness, I synchronize with self-confidence. With radical consciousness, I synchronize with self-confidence. With radical consciousness, I synchronize with self-confidence. Keep reciting. Stay tuned and enjoy an awesome life, spreading awesome vibes.